Dear believer, don't you hate when people tease you about being open about your belief or just living according to them? It can be very annoying. I mean, it's like the standards these days are so low, and this is not me trying to esteem myself or anyone, but the standards are ridiculous. Before it was even okay, you used to go for evangelism, maybe you only listen to gospel songs, going to church regularly, going worker or something like that, and people will be calling you pastor. But these days, just because you post happy Sunday pictures and quotes, like that already makes you a pastor. When people are doing this, like they are not just joking, they are serious about it. That is the level to which they recognize someone as a pastor. And I was just thinking about it lately, and I find it ridiculous. Not that anybody calls me pastor and I'm angry. This is kind of a rant, but it's not fully a rant. It's just that I was thinking about it, and I felt like, let me say something, because it's really irritating and just too rampant these days how he just reduced the standards of what a Christian should be. Like, because the worst part of everything is it's even Christians that be doing this thing. And this is not just, you don't even have to do things church related. Just be good. Just be in your office or, in school, and say you will not do things, in a corner way. Corner meaning, manipulative way. Already people start calling you pastor. So just by keeping the normal regulations of the world, that's how low the standards have dropped. And I just find that ridiculous. Thinking about it, like, it's so annoying. It really is annoying. And it's more like, why are they so low? Like, what happened? Who told us that being a Christian is uncool? It's funny and very weird that's the case now. And even when people want to make it cool, they almost put it like, okay, a tag, something that they can just put on their Instagram bio, God first. Even though what you're posting on your Instagram feed has nothing. So, it doesn't exactly have to be gospel content, but it doesn't glorify God in any way. In fact, it does the opposite. So it's like, what are we doing? And these days, it's like when a lady posts about God, it's cute, it's nice. But when a guy does it, it's corny. So who gave us the idea? Because the excuse guys be using is that, I'm a coded guy, I don't post that much. But bro, you'll be posting about sports, you'll be posting all those memes and forwarding your girlfriend's BC to me, and yet you cannot be public about your beliefs, right? I just find it weird. And nobody is saying, listen, if you're a quiet person, you're a quiet person. If you're reserved, you're reserved. That's it, no problem. But don't make it look as if being a Christian is weird. And it's not. Listen, my fellow believer, dear believer, being a Christian is the most awesome thing you can do with your life. It is not weird, it is cool, and it is awesome. It is awesome to be caring, it is awesome to love one another. It is awesome to have a purpose greater than yourself that you pursue daily and that drives you and gives you, the will to press on no matter the circumstances. It's awesome to have a relationship with your Creator, one that you bask in daily and enjoy and live through. It is awesome to build a family that worships God. It's awesome to see life through the eyes of love, or through the lens of love, rather. It is awesome and beautiful. In fact, it is cool. So I just did one spoken one there. I'm going to take that. But let that be the standards. And I think how we got here is, general decay and Christians not being truthful to their standards, people not really understanding why they believe what they believe, and so many other factors. But some things I just want to bring out. What happens to Christians, especially when, this kind of thing continues, where you're surrounded or you're in a space where being open about your beliefs is seemingly, risky, to say the least. And it's funny how people try and remove God from everything, because so one way that happens is that we've tried to remove God from almost every facet of life. Meanwhile, we have other beliefs in that. And the idea for this is that when we remove God from every facet of life, from justice, the, court system, the, medical system, every, educational system and all that, is so that we will have an unbiased system. Because, of course, different people have different beliefs. So if we are only talking about Christianity here, how is everyone equally represented? That's not justice here. But by doing that, we've now introduced some other bias that guide our decision and every day. So now you can say anything, you can talk about any other thing, especially from an atheistic point of view. And that's the funny thing, that the funniest thing now is that the neutral point of view is now seen as the atheist point of view. And it's like, hold on, That's a bias on its own. If we, and I'm not going to talk about this today, but if we are going to look at abortion or other things, if you are going to go for one side over the other, there is a bias. There are things that are very gray. And at some point, at every level, because we are humans and we have different experiences, there is going to be a bias. So the idea that a neutral ground is a ground with no God is one thing that is absurd. And I think it's one way that we've gotten to this place where you can be open about any other thing in life. You can be open about drinking, especially when it comes to bad things. You can be open about drinking, smoking, depression, everything that is wrong with your life. But once you're open about God, it's weird. It's crazy. It's really crazy. And the funny thing is that one way we've lured Christians into accepting this kind of thing is that, okay, people say things like, especially even in churches, like when you're at the Romans, you behave like a Roman. When you're with the Jews, you behave like a Jew. And as much as that is true, as much as Jesus, partied with sinners and whatnot, he changed them. Like, we are in the world, but we are not of the world. So when Jesus was with sinners, he didn't behave like them. He didn't conform himself to their need. Rather, he conformed them to his nature. And that should be our standard. So you go for a party that's an ungodly hour. And you are drinking, 11 shots. The person that invited you is drinking 11 shots too. And you're saying you are behaving like a Roman. Like, what are you saying, bro? What's the difference between you? What exactly have you done that will move someone to actually take your beliefs seriously? And that's another thing that I think has brought us to where we are. Is that because Christians don't usually, and I'm talking about myself too, but like, we don't usually live according to what we see. People don't take our beliefs seriously. And also the fact that we find excuses to permit it. Like, one thing JP said is that Jordan Peterson, one thing he brings to light, and I read this somewhere, and it's very interesting, is that we permit these things. So take for instance, someone wants to invite you to a party. So the first time they probably invite you to a party that is during the day, nothing, just normal drinks, everything. That's a neutral ground. And next time they invite you to another day party, but there are a few drinks, another neutral ground. Next one, they'll invite you to one at night with a few drinks. Then they begin to increase the drinking onto a chronic level. And that's how it happens. Like, from the first moment you blur the lines between what is right and what is wrong, it's easy to push someone beyond what they've already agreed to be their limit. So let me give you an instance, like what thing that happened to me personally. So like, I went out with a friend of mine, a few weeks ago. Now, normally I don't like drink beer or anything, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. Like, I don't normally drink beer, but I was like, this guy wanted to do me a favor. I was just getting here, he wanted to take me out, and that's cool. That's a nice gesture. So I wanted to oblige him, and I was like, sure, no problem. But I don't smoke, I don't do anything like that. It's like, cool. And then we get to his apartment, he offers me beer. I take 1 or 2 bottles. My eyes my eyes are turning red. I'm not seeing them, but I'm not drunk. No, I do. Plus, I didn't enjoy it. I don't know what people say in alcohol. Like, I literally did not enjoy it. To be honest with you, it wasn't nice at all. But I just did it as a courtesy gesture. And sometimes Christians be doing that just to appease their friends. They blur the lines of what is right and what is wrong for them. And that's part of how we got to where we are now. And that's what I did. And so it was like, why are you slow on the second bottle? You're sleeping on it. Do you want a third one? I was like, no. And he kept on asking. I kept saying no. But like, from that experience, I realized how easy it is for me to just, fall. And I'm not talking about like, oh, go do something, but just, erase the lines of what for me is right or wrong. And that's one thing as Christians that we need to be cautious of. The fact that, okay, when you are among the Romans, behave like a Roman does not mean that you should change your beliefs or blur the lines of what is right and wrong for you. No, it just means that accommodate people. Yes, be friendly, be loving to them. And you can be loving by even, accommodating them despite still keeping your beliefs and standing strong in them. The two can work hand in hand together. And you discover that when you live that way, people will respect you. When you give advice, it's more valuable. When you show love, it's more valuable because they know you're not tending to be what you are and you are not easily manipulated. And like, another thing is, one thing that people who have used to tie my fellow believers into this is they do not judge. Thou shalt not judge. Don't judge so that you will not be judged. And it's how people take it out of context for me. It's like, okay, so I just want to ask you this question. At what point do we draw the line between judging someone and actually calling out someone for doing something wrong? What you are doing, bro, is killing you. So if I love you and I'm your friend, am I going to watch and just let you do it? So it's like, sometimes it's not judging, it's just me calling you out on your bullshit. And the funny thing is that this judging thing and don't judge does not apply to the other side. So, for instance, if someone is a Christian and the person, let's say, doesn't smoke or doesn't drink, and then all of a sudden you start saying, you are deceiving yourself, you get that kind of thing when people are teasing you, like, you're deceiving yourself, you're being fake and everything. When they do that, it's not judging. But when you call someone out on doing something harmful to themselves, it's judging. You can see the weird dynamic of everything. So, like, we need to be more strong about that belief. And that's where evangelism really comes into play. It's because, like, people will be saying, oh, just keep your beliefs to yourself. That's the way the world is going now. Even though, like, keep quiet about your Christian beliefs. Let's push our propaganda. And that's what you discover about many people. Is like, the beautiful thing about it is that this is not just something about someone pushing an agenda, especially from Christians. It's about love. It's like if you saw someone wasting away their life. Because the questions of purpose and meaning and, destiny and origin, exist for everybody. And if you saw someone going about it, let's say you found, because that's what Christians basically say, that's what Christianity basically says, is that we found the answers to this question. So let's say you're about to write an exam here, and by hook or crook, you had questions and the answers. Now, you shouldn't have it normally, but let's say, you legally have it, and you have a friend who is struggling, who is not struggling, or anything, and probably is not prepared for this exam or something. This is probably a very bad analogy, but I'm using it, so I'm just going to finish using it. You now kept the answers to yourself, and then the person writes the exam and fails, and everything, and comes out, and then you're like, sorry, I even had the answers, but I was like, let me just keep it to myself. The way the person will beat you, whether you got it legally or illegally, the way the person will beat you. Like, I knew this past question was coming out, but I just didn't, because I just decided to keep it. It's like, no, like, out of love, you will share. So if you really believe the power of the gospel and what it says, then you will go out and share to your friends, you will share to your family, you will say it to people around you. Because you want to meet them in paradise. You want them to enjoy what you are enjoying right now. So I think that's where all these things come down to. If you are a believer, that is doing this to other believers, where you are always teasing them about their lives and, discouraging them from being expressive about it, you need to stop. And you need to start taking your own Christianity very seriously. Like, know what you are doing with your life, bro. And if you're a Christian that, this kind of thing has gotten to you before, it has stopped you from reaching out to your friends about Christ or being expressive, or to the point where you even stop going to church or something. I'm sorry that happened to you, but listen, this is a wake-up call and encouragement that you need to get back on the treadmill and start walking, again through your faith to get to where God has for you. You can be expressive about it. And that's a warning sign too. If you are surrounded by friends that kind of stop you from being open about your beliefs, I think you might be with the wrong company. If you are with friends who constantly shut you down when you push for justice and the right kind of things, I think you need to look again. And I'm not saying just have Christian friends. That means you will work in different places. You would, communicate with different people as you go through life. But like, you need to, especially your, inner circle, you need to be surrounding yourself with people that would have the same goals as you in life and that will push you to constantly pursue them. So I'm saying this for all my believers out there, dear believer, even to myself as an encouragement. Remember my story about booze. Like, don't blur the lines of right or wrong just to fit in. Don't do that. Being in a relationship with God is cool. I don't know what else to say, but to be honest with you, from my experience, it's the best thing that ever happened to me. And it's the best thing that's still happening to me now. So dear believer, I hope this video blessed you, and I hope you can share it to your friends and get it to bless them, and encourage a Christian out there who feels, shy and suppressed to be more open about their beliefs, to be more courageous, and to stand strong and surround themselves with the right people, and to cause that one guy that's always teasing people to stop. because it's not French. It's not funny. I might probably be that one guy, but it's not about Christianity. It's probably something about height. So, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Have a wonderful week. Bye.